Well, it looks like I might have to do 2 of these in a row. This series frustrates me because the horror elements are actually really interesting, but none of the characters have any personality and I don't know who they are. I mean, I would like to know about that one soldier's past squad, but I want to know about them for more than one episode. The fact that 2 of them die have no impact on me because I don't know who they are. I just know their names and I don't remember their names. The fact that he's searching for his brother's head is kind of creepy, and I'd like to explore that more. But other than that, I just don't really care. Also, it's mostly a battle show, so a lot of the battles take up too much time. Hopefully it gets better. So, let's talk about fridging for a minute. Fridging is a trope where a character is killed off just to give other characters motivation. And quite frankly, I think it's bullshit. The only example where it actually worked was Black Cat, and that's mostly because I didn't actually expect Saya to die. So her death did fuel Train's motivation because it was out of nowhere and it was extremely shocking. Most times you can actually tell when a character is going to die, and it's just really annoying. I bring this up because Claire was literally designed to die in this show, and you can tell because she's a one-off character who you don't know anything about. She's cute and little, and one of the characters has feelings for her, so she's going to die. I mean, it does kind of fuel the other character's investigation, and the investigation itself is kind of interesting, especially at the end where the one character whose name I don't know is attacked by monsters. And also there's a cult, so that's kind of cool. But I really hate fridging, and this is kind of a black mark on a series I actually kind of like. It's just more of Neku establishing that he can't trust Joshua. I mean, I don't trust him either, but the only thing notable is that Joshua is playing the Reaper's game while still alive. That's interesting, but it's just not really something worth talking about. Can we just get to the part where he reveals himself as the composer already? Please? So inevitably, in a show about a teenager living at an adult's house while the adult and the teenager struggle with the fact that they shouldn't have feelings for each other because, one's an adult and one's a teenager, it's inevitable that somebody's going to come along who's a sleazebag who hits on said teenager, because that's kind of how these stories always work. The difference with this show, however, is they actually treat it like it's wrong. There's no brushing it off. There's no questioning whether he was actually right. There's no getting with him because he's the better option. He's actually treated like a sleazebag. It's kind of refreshing. No, it's not kind of refreshing. It's completely refreshing. And it gives the show a lot of respect points for me. I still worry that this show's going to eventually hook up the main character and his teenage apartment dweller, but so far that hasn't happened, and in a show like this, it's kind of amazing that they've gotten this far without doing that. Did I just jinx it? Also, Irie is my favorite character because she smacks the pervert across the face. That is awesome. So as I suspected, the dolls are going to have to rescue their masters, and they have to do that by getting out of the maze first. The most amusing part of this episode, and what interests me, is that every doll picks their item, i.e. the item they're going to use based on their personalities. I.e. Emiriko just decides based on her heart, Lou throws a rock at it, Ricky picks it up and is like, I'm going to use this because this is the best thing. That really goes to show that everything they do is based on how they feel, and what they want. So, that's pretty much it for now. Although the conversation between John and Kate is kind of funny. Like, they're shadows. How are they going to get married? That's weird. Oh yeah, and I also found out that Edward is voiced by Wataru Hatano, which is really strange because Wataru Hatano isn't that old. Like, it really goes to show how good a seiyuu he is if he can play someone twice his age. Then again, I've seen Rear Window, so that's not... No. That shouldn't really be a surprise. I really hate shows that start out as one thing or are advertised as one thing, but then completely drop that plot to become something else. Like, this show was advertised as a mystery about a missing idol, and while I get we need to focus on characters and have character development, none of it has to do with the actual idol mystery. Okay, it's a good mob story, and it's interesting, and I like the fact that all the animals have their own problems, and I get it, but what about the missing idol? You know, the thing that we were advertised as? This show feels like it's spinning its wheels and it's starting to get on my nerves. Like, a lot. I do like the story with Dobu and Shirakawa. That makes good drama. But, again, missing idol. Can we please get to that? So at this point, I don't even care about this show anymore because literally everybody's dead, so what's there to do? Also, I learned that the blonde one, whose name I think is Elena, is voiced by this lead singer from the band who does the opening. So that's something, I guess. It's kind of neat. She's alive. I just don't care anymore. I think I said this last week, but while I like this show is mostly just jokes dispersed and peppered with little tiny bits of plot. It's good, but the only notable thing about this week is that they can't summon any reinforcements. So, mostly it's just lewd jokes. It's funny, but it's not really something worth talking about. I only keep bringing it up because I keep thinking that something's going to pop into my head. Something like really, really notable. But no. It's just Konosuba, but with a better identity. So, at this point, I'm just watching this show just to see how completely insane it gets. Like, they're fighting someone who's working for God. Literally working for God. It's an okay show. I just don't have any vested interest in it because it dragged on for so long and did literally nothing with its plot for most of its series that I just didn't care. Also, who's actually surprised that Arrow can still kill people despite not being able to get into his, what's it called again? To tell you the truth, I haven't paid much attention to this series. It's kind of on and off. In fact, that reminds me of another show I've been watching on and off. They're painting the art room, and then they start talking about why something, or whether something in the painting is missing, which somehow leads to a story about a teacher kidnapping her students because she's mad at the faculty. Okay then. I don't get it. You know, I actually do feel bad for the girl in this episode this week. Her boss is a complete shitbag, and she actually does need to be saved. But again, the pacing is so crap that it doesn't really matter. There's also hinted about some kind of conspiracy, like something bad is gonna happen. I don't really know where that's going, and we only have 6 episodes left, so something tells me the payoff is going to be terrible. Also, they've started recycling songs, and again, I kind of wish they used new ones. So, true story, I wasn't actually going to watch this show anymore because the art is shit, and I don't care. It's just another show about a kid going to school, except now it's set in the demon realm. Like, somehow that's going to make it more interesting. But then I saw a clip on YouTube of Iruma turning evil, and that actually kind of piqued my interest. So, what was the big, important thing they did with this plotline? What was so important that the little demon spawn thing, whose name I can't remember, had to turn Iruma evil for? He wants to get them a new classroom. That is literally it. Admittedly, the idea of demon puberty, which basically is what this amounts to, is kind of funny, and I was really looking forward to this, but that's it. He just doesn't like their classroom environment and wants to get a better one. You know, you could have done this without turning him evil. In fact, you could have done something a lot better, like have him take over the school, or have him manipulate his friends into doing whatever he wants. Actually, they kind of did that, but that only lasted a few minutes. You could have done more with that. This show is just so disappointing, and I don't know why I keep trying with it. That's about it for this week anyway, so hopefully next week I should be done with this show.